This conference will now be recorded.
All right, well, it's January 6th, 2026. And we'll call the Monterey Select Board to order at 6 PM. And all three members of the board are present right here in Town Hall. And I think the first order of business is, shall we get into the grant writing for the Culvert grant? Is that why you're here, Dennis?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for listening. So this particular grant is called the MassDOT Community Culvert Grant. It's a new grant program that provides funding for a so-called phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 being a design and permitting step, and that's offering to have a designated consultant from the DOT actually do the work for the municipality at no cost, up to $150,000. Once you've done that step, then if you choose to go to step 2, which is phase 2, then they have up to $1 million after the design and permitting is completed. So we're asking to be able to submit an application, which is due this Friday.
Is this for,
It's for 2 culverts.
okay, not this one,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I should have said that. On Art School Road
Oh,
and
thank
New
God.
Marlboro Road.
And which one?
New Marlboro.
New Marlboro, okay.
Both culverts are in aging condition, one worse than the other. Actually, on the town Department of Public Works sheet of culverts, they're both listed as priorities. And not only that, but they happen to drain into the Concopod River. The Art School Road culvert actually goes down and drains into Lake Garfield, which in turn helps create the Concopod. And the New Marlboro culvert carries flow directly into the Concopod, both of which give an advantage in the grant application because that, according to this MassDOT, that's more or less efficiency, and it contributes to biological resilience by attacking those 2 problems at the same time.
Watershed protection.
Do you have something to sign on?
So yeah, so there is a letter of support that is to the MassDOT about this project. And also there is a grant request form that, Dennis is asking, for 7 hours to go over. And also there's a webinar this coming Thursday as well, that's all part of this and the Eco One Stop, right?
Yes, it's a different grant that applies to the culvert at Main Road.
Yeah.
Potentially, I should say, depending on the select board's review.
This is just a
Yeah, it's just
front form. I think that's just a yes. I'm assuming we're all done about this. You didn't vote or anything.
Yeah.
We're just
No.
proceeding apace, so,
Everyone agrees.
yay, thanks.
Thank you, Dennis. Let's start the new year.
Once again,
You're welcome.
thanks. We keep you busy.
I really hope this works out. The
Do you want to sign that? You can sign that.
webinar would be an additional hour and a half
Doesn't,
onto that.
oh, sign.
I think you'll notice that the MassDOT grant applications are pretty short.
That's good.
Really
Yay.
short.
I mean, basically, everybody's got culverts they need fixed, like.
Yeah.
Duh.
We're also through the same MassDOT. We're also working on, Alan is working on one for unpaved roads, which is a new category they have. And so he's working on one for equipment, to buy some equipment.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah. So, but mainly to do maintenance on the paved roads. So
It would
for
be
that-
good to not have that big metal thing in our road on our.
Yes.
Oh, it started to collapse, so Jim put a
Piece of metal.
metal plate
Yeah.
over it. Which is good, because otherwise it would be much worse. I think it's very clear that it needs,
Would that happen to be one of the two culverts that I mentioned?
yeah,
Which one would that be?
the one on Art School Road.
School Road.
Art School? Good. I'll remember that in the application.
All right, well, thank you, Dennis. Our
Thanks for
next
listening.
topic is to accept a donation of police department. We just have to, I can formally vote. I'd move that we accept a donation from Hillel and Janet Maximum to the police.
I second it.
All right, we'll call a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and that is a unanimous vote.
And I would like to apologize, I accidentally put an L at the end of their name on the agenda. So when I put it there.
Do we have a proclamation for Henry Knox? I didn't get it.
I don't, no.
Um,
I can put something together.
So,
Yay, verily,
what's that?
yay, verily, we wish to stand up.
So I actually can send you what Rob had drafted,
Okay,
but we can sign maybe before we leave tonight because otherwise, oh,
Otherwise.
yes, it hadn't even been sent to you, of course you can. So I can show you all,
Rob's he's a good writer,
He's
so
a-
I'm
he's a
sure,
great writer.
yeah, if you drafted something, it's probably good.
whereas July 4th, 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America, and whereas Henry Knox, then a 24-year-old civilian, did undertake in the winter of 75 to 76. To lead a crew of teamsters driving sleds pulled by draft animals and manpower to haul 60 tons of cannons captured by American patriots at Fort Ticonderoga, New York, to the Berkshire Hills and through Monterey on January 10th, 1776. After which he continued to Cambridge to deliver the artillery to General Washington, where the cannons were thereafter placed. Forced an evacuation of Boston by the British Army and Navy, and whereas through the extraordinary efforts of Henry Knox, Boston, and indeed all of Massachusetts, was liberated from the tyranny of King George III, and Henry Knox was commissioned an officer in the Continental Army, rising to the rank of Major General. And whereas, but for this historic victory over the forces of the king, it is possible that the Declaration of Independence may not have been issued and signed by the founders of our nation. And whereas now 250 years after that signing, we Americans remain united in support of the values and the self-evident truths as declared by our founders in the Declaration of Independence. And whereas it is now incumbent upon all of us to recognize the efforts of Henry Knox and to celebrate the founding document that we hold dear. Now, therefore, we, the duly elected select board of the town of Monterey, do hereby proclaim January 10, 2026 to be Henry Knox Day in Monterey, and further hereby declare him an honorary citizen of the town of Monterey posthumously, with the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and be it further resolved as follows: to undertake on July 4th, 2026, a celebration to honor both the legacy of Henry Knox and of those values and self-evident truths as set forth in the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America.
huzzah.
They're not gonna try and move another cannon in the middle of the winter? Well, it sounds pretty good.
There's
Sounds
upcoming
good, and then-
events.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
but
lot
in
of-
January, not in
The
July, whereas
16th,
July.
well, January 6th.
There's a whole
They
bunch.
have-
Right.
They have their
So-
like event,
What are they having on the 16th?
the Friday night, they're having, I'm not sure. if it's-
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, but
Whole
there's something
series of
Friday
those.
night, that would be-
In the library?
Kick it off.
Yeah, I don't know where it's posted, I saw
The Bidlaw House Museum, the library.
was it? I have a, so somebody sent me an image, I don't know where I got it from, of the events, but I don't know where it came from. So, if you send that to me,
Yeah, did you get my email?
just now,
Oh, wait, I didn't. Thought I did.
maybe it's down here, hold on, let me just-
I'm sorry, there were a few things about Knox and I got, crossed up.
Yeah, if you send that to me, I can, it just needs to go on our letterhead, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
I can do a letterhead and do like a, legal size document.
So I got the event, the schedule right here. Friday at the library.
Yep, I just found it too. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bidwell House.
Saturday at the library in the morning, and then at the Bidwell House Museum,
That's morning too, but later.
panel discussion with Rob Hoops, Bernie Drew, Marilyn Bay, Rob Bernard, and Tom Ragusa.
Very cool. Let's hope it is snow and not rain. Very cool. They worked hard on this.
Yeah.
And by the way, it came up like the second hit. If I had
Oh, yeah.
Knox Trail, what did I say, Knox Trail celebration or something, and Knox Trail events. Knox Trail 250 celebration, right, it's right up there, so.
There was an article in the,
Yeah.
Boston Globe that mentioned Rob.
Cool.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, a friend of ours sent it to us, cut it out and sent it to us. So
Excellent.
I can get a copy.
And it was Boston Globe Online.
Yeah.
So the next item is, we had a question from an employee, who I believe is leaving as well.
They have notified us that they are going at some point. They haven't officially given a date yet, but they are, my understanding, they're leaving.
So the problem basically is this: if you work Monday to Friday, the Monday to Friday schedule is designed to take, what is it, 14 holidays that we have? 12.
That's enough, 12 is good.
And most of our full-time employees are on the Monday to Friday schedule, but then again, actually now a number are not. And there's kind of an inequity, where if your schedule is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you get only half the holidays. And that's only because you have Monday. If it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you get basically no holidays. So basically, is it just, that is what it is? You don't get the holiday, but you don't take the time off, and you also don't have to work on the holidays? Or, I don't think we could really figure it out here tonight, but there are technically other options about voting holidays, et cetera. I think it's also particularly tough with this department, because I believe the way that it works is, if you're scheduled to work on a holiday, and you do work on a holiday, you get paid a day for your holiday, and you get paid time and a half
Yes.
to work the holiday.
So you get 2.5 times.
So you get 2.5 time,
So I
so,
actually ran some numbers on this because this was bugging me and it made me feel a little better, but it might not make the employee completely satisfied. So there are 8 holidays, and for each holiday that a Monday to Friday employee doesn't work, but
Yeah,
gets
there's 12.
paid for 8 hours, pardon? I'm sorry, there's 12 holidays.
Yeah.
For each holiday, an employee that works the normal schedule and isn't working on the holiday gets 8 hours worth of their pay. So that's 96 times whatever their hourly rate is, assuming they're not salaried, right? Because this doesn't apply to salaried employees. On the other hand, an employee who is working on a day that's a holiday day gets paid for the 8 hours of that holiday plus time and a half.
only in that department,
No, another department.
DPW,
they get 2.5 time.
they get, if they work the holiday,
Yeah,
they would get time and a half,
okay,
Plus a holiday.
plus a holiday pay.
So
So that-
if you work 6 holidays, right, during which you're getting paid 8 hours of your salary for the holiday day plus 1.5 times 8, which is 12 times of your salary, that's 20x, right? Times 6, you get, this is what you get for working only 6 holidays versus other employees in the town who get all those days off.
Yeah.
So you're actually still making more money working only 6 holidays than an employee in the town who doesn't work on
Who just
holidays.
takes the day off.
That's right.
So,
You might not have the opportunity to get those extra time and a half days that some other employees have, but it's not as though,
because she doesn't discuss the compensation here. So if she works a Monday schedule, so if it's a holiday falls on the Monday, she gets time and a half plus a day's pay.
plus 8 hours.
If she works, but if somehow, and I'm not sure of the particulars of the department, but if somehow it was such that she didn't need to work, maybe she asked for the day off and got coverage, she would get single pay
Single
to
pay.
not work.
Yeah, like, it'd be like a regular person, like a person working DPW works Monday, but it's a holiday, he just gets that day's pay.
But she
doesn't-
did make a point of saying that she only got 6 holiday days, but even with 6 holiday days, she
Yeah,
actually
but I'm not
is
sure how you
reimbursed.
control that in the schedule.
You don't,
You can't, I don't know how you, that's the
Well,
nature of it.
I will say one thing, which is that when this schedule was originally, designed, it was not designed like this.
No,
It was Saturday to like Thursday and like Wednesday to Sunday.
Mhm.
They had
And
a
so
rolling schedule.
That would result in a little bit more,
Equality.
equality. Because the other thing that gets really funky around weekends is if Christmas Day is on a Friday, or if Christmas Day is on a Saturday, the town recognizes the holiday on the Friday. And same thing if it's Sunday to Monday. So then the days recognized not on the weekend. It gets very confusing when we have different schedules, and I don't know, my former employer actually in some ways made this very simple because you didn't have separated vacation and holiday pay. You just had a very large amount of paid time off, and all holidays were flex holidays, so you could work any holiday you wanted. And whatever, and if you didn't work, you'd take your time off.
Mhm.
But I'm not saying that we go that route, because it has other shortfalls, like if a town hall's closed, it doesn't really make sense to have certain people
Well,
working,
yeah.
although you can probably get a lot done on the day where town hall's closed sometimes.
Yes, right.
I think there may have been some confusion with the employee policy at the time, when this person was hired. Because it's been a little confusing for me when things were changed. So for example, there's an employee manual that was as of July 1, 2021. And when you read this, it says holidays, town bylaw enacted and amended, a series of dates. All full-time employees shall be entitled to the legal holidays on which state offices are closed as provided in NGL Chapter 136, Section 12, as follows. If any holiday falls on Sunday, the following Monday will be the holiday, and if it falls on Saturday, the previous Friday will be the holiday. You could interpret that to mean that if I'm a full-time employee working only weekends, I'm entitled to the legal holidays, because it says shall be entitled to the legal holidays. It doesn't say anything about working or not working. But then in 2023, it looks like it changed, whether somebody realized this or not, and under compensation types, it says holiday pay. All full-time and part-time employees shall receive their regular hourly rate for the number of hours equal to their scheduled workday for the following holidays. And it lists those holidays. So the same thing with the holidays falling on Monday or Saturday. And it says in here, an employee who is paid on an hourly basis and is required to work on an actual holiday or a default holiday shall receive compensation equal to 1.5 times their regular rate of pay for all hours worked with the prior approval of the select board. So basically that's like the highway department, who sometimes comes in on a holiday to plow.
Yeah.
So they would come in, they get their call in or whatever, they work 10 hours, whatever that day, they will get time and a half. So the person we're talking about was hired in 2023 and was like a part-time employee for a while. So I don't know if there was some confusion as to what they were reading and not reading, but according to this, which is, from my understanding, is 2023, if you don't work the holiday, you don't get paid for the holiday.
if it wasn't irregularly
If
scheduled.
it wasn't your regularly scheduled
I
time.
think that even gets messy, because if you have a 16-hour shift, which I think
She
is,
does.
you do,
Yep.
and there's a holiday on a Saturday, like January 1st on a Saturday.
Mhm.
Do you get double time and a half for 16 hours, or do you get it for 8?
I would guess, based upon
You get time and a half for 16 and plus the 8 based on the way that's worded,
plus 2 8s.
for why?
Because there's 2 shifts.
Ah,
I looked, actually, that happens, I know they have much shorter hours, but at the library, they get, like, on Thursday, it's a broken day, they got paid holiday for each section that they were there, but I know it's a shorter day, right? It's probably not even 8 hours that they're, I don't know how long the library's open, but it's effectively 2 shifts, they get paid for the 2 shifts or the 8 hours. But
So the normal,
historically, so recently, I have been doing that because I see somebody working a 16-hour shift is working 2 shifts, like 2 days.
I think also, what this all brings up, and we're in a little bit of a transition. Maybe the double shifting is not really a great option for a few reasons, and this might just be another reason in the bucket that it's just not really great.
I don't,
No,
I don't think it's healthy to work 2 double shifts back to back.
It's a long day.
It's a long day, I mean, you can say what you want, but. And I talked to Brian the other day, I think if he posted that schedule, he wouldn't get a lot of people apply for it. That happened to be when Melanie came on, her mother was here and sick, we allowed her to take her to the doctor, and it stayed that way, So I agree with you, we should try to limit the double shifts, you may have it on occasions when, someone's out, but it shouldn't be the norm. I don't think it should.
And I think.
I would agree.
Yeah.
12-hour shift is, I could understand doing 12-hour shifts, but I would not do 16 hours.
And I think Brian is cognizant of that. We've had conversations about what a schedule would look like, with this employee not working anymore, new employee, how would the schedule change? What would that mean? So things like that. So maybe going back to an older version of the schedule that they had.
So it was 5 8-hour shifts, I think at one point.
They were doing 4 2s. So they were doing 4 on 2 offs. That's what they were doing at one point. So 4 10-hour shifts. When he said,
That gets really
when he
nice,
said-
Roger,
it
because that all of a
works.
sudden becomes.
Well,
50.
what happens is you're rotating on your weekends, so you don't have your weekends all the time. And
but at least it evens it out, not everybody's getting the same hit.
it evens it out, but what happens, and I haven't really sat down with Brian to look through it, what happens is you do end up with days where there isn't anybody scheduled. So that's why they used to rely on part-timers more.
What you should end up with days where no one's gonna.
So it's just that's where the part-timers come in. And they come in, there might be like a shift where there's nobody in that shift on the day or the night, I guess. But I haven't really sat down to look at it and see how it works. So that's what he's trying to
I think we should give Brian some time to work through
Yeah.
maybe he'll have 3 different options or something like that before we try to put a policy together.
Yeah.
The other thing, she touches on bereavement in her last paragraph. She should be paid bereavement pay.
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I honestly, I can't remember the time period that she was or wasn't here. And I don't know if she just didn't get paid or it came across as personal.
It said
as
it
bereavement.
was forced to take sick time, although bereavement time is available with approval by the select board.
I see,
So
yeah.
I would sit down and ask Brian what it is, and I would reverse it and get her sick day back. I don't know how to do that.
Just,
You don't get sick days.
I was just gonna say, at the end of the day, though, the reality is there's no monetary change to her because will we pay an employee who leaves, correct me if I'm wrong here, Roger, gets paid for unused vacation, but we don't pay unused sick time.
Mhm.
So even if, she definitely should have been paid for bereavement and was entitled to it, but it won't change.
So she won't
the
get more money at the end.
Correct.
Someone needs to explain that.
And I think one of the other issues, which I'll have to address with Harper's, is that there is no option for bereavement. So there's a pay category, so the pay category is, sick time, holiday, personal. So there's nothing for bereavement, so I probably would have done personal time, but I did not realize.
We should just have an option for bereavement.
Just put a bereavement, I'll just have to. put
And
a bereavement
honestly,
option.
the personal time is,
It's not, I mean, bereavement
yes,
leave is so
because
common.
an unused
You think
personal
everything
day
else is-
counts as a sick, it rolls over as sick days, right? So it's a kind of false category, and it's a false category anyway, because no one's asking you, like, if you're sick, then unless you're sick for an extended period, there's no doctor's note involved, right? If you wanted a fourth personal day, you could just call in and say you're sick, people do that. So it's kind of an artificial distinction, personal day and sick day to begin with. I'd say get rid of personal day and put in bereavement. Because, I mean, if they can't add another tab, if they
They
can.
should.
Well, I think it's something that's mentioned in our handbook as an option, it should be in Harper's as an option.
That's
That's
fair,
right.
that's fair.
So, all to say, we stand by the holiday policy of you get paid the number of hours that you would normally work based on a normal schedule. And if you also work, you get time and a half, if your department requires it. So if
You don't get to come in just because you felt like
If
it.
you're an administrative helper to Roger, you can take, and you come in every 2 hours on every Thursday,
Mhm.
and it's Thanksgiving, you can get paid for 2 hours to not come in, but you can't also just come in and get 2.5 time.
Right.
Yeah, and that's that's how it was with Don Tirico. He usually works on Thursdays.
Mhm.
And so this year, he got things pretty well because Thursday was Thanksgiving, Thursday was Christmas, Thursday was New Year's.
Yeah.
So those are effectively, that's his day, Tuesdays, Thursdays, so that's an hour and a half of basically holiday pay you would get for those days, so. It's just kind of how it is.
Yeah. I mean, it only happens, what, like every 7 years or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Does that basically settle it? Do you have any questions or?
Uh,
I mean, I think you should talk to Brian definitely about bereavement, because we
Yeah.
all agree that doesn't need approval of the select board.
Okay,
I think the old, I
Yeah.
think the
yeah, I'd have to look at the old versus.
the 2021 version may have said that, remember, with one of the things we kept changing was that we wanted to be out of the loop unless we really need to be in the loop. And, I
Maybe change it
suspect,
to-
and, yeah, like Roger said, I think it's very possible that the latest version of the personnel manual did not get as widely distributed or as much attention as perhaps it should have been, but hopefully we'll fix it on this next round.
But one thing I also really don't get, and maybe you can tell me that I just shouldn't stress it too much, but
Don't stress
Be
it too
happy.
much.
Don't stress your head over me.
so New Year's Day is on a Sunday and you work Monday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You work on both Sunday and Monday, that's part of your regular schedule. So Sunday is the actual day,
Yeah,
Monday is
so you get 2.5 time. Monday is the recognized day.
Susan and I just talked
You
about
I
get
it.
know.
2.5 time again?
That's a good question, that's a really good question.
I'm inclined to say yes, although it pains me just.
I'm not really inclined to say yes, you
I'm
get
not
your
inclined to
holiday.
say, that's
I
not,
just don't know how to
you
word it.
wanna acknowledge and pay, but it's not like you gotta go bankrupt because,
I know.
you know.
Like, there's only so much we can pay people to not be here.
I mean, if you're,
I
if
think
you're
we get
actually
paid
working.
once per holiday to not be at work.
Well,
Yeah.
you
So-
get one day's pay for one holiday, period.
Yeah,
But
that's,
that would also kind of simplify this whole thing a little bit.
Yeah.
Hear me out. If we just, every time a holiday happened, we paid all full-time employees 8 hours. Regardless, whether it was on your schedule or not, regardless of what day on the week it happened, that's your New Year's Day pay.
The problem is if you actually have to work a holiday, I do think you're entitled.
Well, then you get your time and a half.
Right,
But you just get, to start, everyone just gets 8 hours per holiday.
it makes budgeting a little more difficult,
I would think it if everybody got,
because if somebody doesn't work that, if it's all full-time, right, and people aren't working, 8 hours, 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 8 It's really just, it's not that difficult because it's only gonna happen to a few people. Like, let's take, for example, the way this shift is scheduled right now. For that specific person, you have to go through the entire year, see what days they would not be working on a holiday, and then add those dollars into the budget. Because even though it's holiday pay, it's really just taking those 8 hours out of their current existing budget and just calling it holiday pay as opposed to
The
regular.
really holiday part of it is, or the part we need to budget for is the time and a half
Yes.
for whoever actually
Right.
works the shift.
So if somebody's working Saturday, Sunday, Monday, they're working all these Monday holidays, that Monday is part of, in fact, basically, I'm gonna say, oh, that's a holiday, they're working it, it comes out of their regular annual payroll. But now I'd have to add on another day to pay them.
Because they would normally work
Because they
that
wouldn't
day
normally
anyway.
work it.
So it's not part of the regular calculation.
It's a unicorn situation. It doesn't happen, it only happens to, like, at this point, as full-timers go, it's only this person who works on the weekends, Melanie who works on the weekends at the fire department, because if they don't work the holiday, they don't get paid the holiday. So it's just them.
Which they made as an intentional choice.
Yeah.
Because they figured like there's a limit to the money and they're already getting, right, they needed staff. They know somebody has to work every holiday, 20%, so.
Yeah, because all the other full-timers, which are really just the highway department, they get the day off, or if they get called in, they get paid the time and a half, plus the day.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
this all leads me to questions, and it's very complicated because there's so many different shifts.
Emily, I think all these questions are painful because of the minutia. But the real, I'm not discounting them, I'm just saying, they seem simple until you start trying to
And some of it may be.
make it accurate.
Sorry, and some of it may be fixed with a new staff, new scheduling. The only thing we really have to be concerned about are those days when we do have the Saturday, Sunday holiday and the person's scheduled Friday, Saturday or something.
And how do you address
We
that?
have to-
I'm not sure how you even word that.
Let's try not to do it tonight.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Speaking of, shall we dive into employee handbook policies?
sure, and I sent you,
You sent us five.
Lindsay got back to me with the contract.
Yeah.
From Lindsay Katz, from Hobbs, sorry, my brain, I have one, I swear. So, and I forwarded that to everybody. We don't have to have that conversation today, but I just want to make you aware that it's.
Yeah, let's, add it onto the next agenda.
Okay.
Sign it.
Sounds good.
That's, the Collins Center, right?
Correct. Alright, so. What do you wanna do first?
Health insurance. It was just,
Yeah, sorry.
The HIPAA? That's okay.
so just so I think it's the ones we've been sort of rolling along,
Yeah,
so health insurance grievance references,
Yes.
workplace safety,
Mhm.
workplace violence protection.
So
some
let's
of them
do
are pretty straightforward.
grievance is the first I have here.
Grievance, okay.
I have a question about grievance. Do we even need this policy?
Easy question.
Because it looks like a part of the labor contract.
Yeah, and I didn't change city. I think that was one of my questions, hang on, let me bring up.
I'm,
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did not have anything about the grievance policy in my notes.
Yeah, I don't think we need or want a formal grievance policy.
And this
Actually, sure.
this is definitely one that you can see the way, like, Collins Center policy, city to town. This is definitely a Collins Center one, I gave it our header. What currently happens if there's a grievance?
yeah, but then,
Well,
They
we
go to
just
their-
kind of have one
Yeah, I
sitting
think
on our,
it's in there
desk, and-
already.
you go to the department head, and if the department has questions, they go to the town administrator. And when there's kind of, a really complicated situation, we'll bring it up to the select board and try to figure it out, and we don't have much resolution.
Can we, have something, but say have it start at section 4? Like say do like section 1 and skip the other 2 and just start at section 4, so at least it gives some employee an idea, brand new employee, an idea of what they might do, or who they could talk to if they wanted to.
Section 4.
Which starts with excluded employees, and then just kind of has a pretty simple process of speaking to your department head first, and then going to the town administrator. And I could only think that if there was a third step, it would be kind of like what happened here, you know? Somebody sent an email to the select board if they were totally dissatisfied with things. That would simplify it and get rid of all this other stuff.
But
at
then
least it would-
if there's a step 3, then the end of step 2 goes away. This is a town administrator is no longer final, right?
Oh.
Because, right,
I
this
guess.
is a town administrator could then be appealed in step 3, it's like, we're,
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I
mean, at least it gives the
do we have,
the appearance of.
where do you think it's mentioned elsewhere? What to do if you have a problem?
I think it's under the discipline, isn't it?
I don't remember that now.
Going back to it. Wait a minute, and now we've got 2 different discipline policies.
What?
Well, we approved a discipline policy and then we did the
And we disciplined
performance.
ourselves.
Yeah, right, where is it?
What we did in November.
God, training development and training. Yeah, we wanted performance. We turned performance improvement policy into performance improvement and discipline policy, and I had the impression we were meaning that. That's still in the list of drafts for review. I had the impression that the thought was that was going to be in place of the discipline policy, because we tried to combine, you guys wanted me to combine discipline with improvement. Let me see.
I think this is separate.
I wonder if, because we don't have a union and because we're not required to have an exact procedure, every issue is dealt with
It's not in there.
so specific to, sometimes it's the employee talking to the department head and just figuring it out. Sometimes they move up and talk to Roger. Sometimes Roger, it's as simple as just clarifying something with payroll. Sometimes it's a question about policy. That grievance doesn't really seem to be for something about, a question about how the policy.
It's not really about questions, it's about you have a problem with someone.
Yeah.
That's, or some decision that somebody made. That's how it sounds to me, right?
Yeah.
You don't like how the boss is treating you, you don't, whatever it is that happened, you're not happy with it, so. You have a complaint rather than a question.
I guess that's why I would try and simplify it, because I wouldn't want an employee, like a new employee or an employee, to not think that there wasn't a way to do something. I know some people will take the initiative on their own to just say like, oh, I'm gonna talk to my department head, I'm gonna go talk to the town administrator, I'm gonna send an email to the select board. But there may be others that are like, I don't know, I don't really know what my best avenue is. Maybe just by having something simple that says, talk to the town administrator. If the town administrator is the person you're having a grieving with, talk to the select board, or something like that.
So do you want to, I mean, I think it's a little bit too much to rework this tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Since
no, I
you're the
would-
one who deals with it, do you want to
Yeah,
rework
I'll
it?
do something, I'll
Okay.
rework it, yeah.
Cause I see
Okay.
your point.
Yeah, I do too. And thank you for not making me do that.
Health insurance portability
Uh,
and accountability.
So this one is annoying, but pretty much what it is.
This is zone grievance procedure.
Probably
I
because
think
of
the
the,
last line is the most important one on the back page, be fired. Berkshire Health caught an IT person going in my health records.
Specific, really?
Yeah, they
You were?
fired him.
No kidding.
They wrote a letter, I didn't know it.
what the hell? What was he looking for?
I had no clue. They said he accessed my health records 3 times in a month.
That's creepy.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's like the most important line. Fortunately, fired,
Interesting.
because it does
Is it
happen.
just you that's scary?
Almost
Hopefully-
certainly not.
Hopefully they were creeping on everybody.
Well, and it just makes you wonder what the heck they were after. So
Well,
are we
he's
okay
got
with,
too much free time,
or they're trying
You're
to,
here to
they're
be
fishing for
announced.
something and using information and know that they're gonna do something weird with it. I mean,
Alright,
I
well,
wasn't gonna get any drugs from me, all that.
yeah, we're rare fish.
Okay.
so health insurance, portability,
And
and
accountability. Act.
accountability act, we're all good with,
I'm
as
good with-
drafted.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
approved.
Approved, yay.
Can we just have a quick conversation about approved and adopted?
So, that is a good conversation. Approved to me means
For adopting it.
we're adopting it. No, we're approving it. We're adopting, my impression is that it's approved, it's adopted when the whole thing is into a book, because we didn't want to do them piecemeal.
Yeah.
I'm fine with changing that,
No,
but that's what I understood
agree.
that we had agreed.
I agree, and I don't even think the date approved should be in the finalized version.
Okay,
I think it's good
it's helpful for
for
me now,
Susan to
yeah.
know as she's compiling everything, but true, I don't think the date adopted should be in the finalized book. It's just July 1, 2026. We say this is the new employee handbook.
I think the reason it's in
Right.
there, the reason I think it should eventually be in there, even if it's the same date for all of them, is that way when a single policy gets changed, right, we're having them as separate policies, so we can fix one without having to redo the whole thing. When a single policy gets changed, then that date would reflect when the new one was made.
Are we doing that or aren't we doing that?
I think that we decided, I thought we had decided we'd kind of go both, that we'd have them as individual policies, but that a new employee would be handed it as a booklet.
Because we can do that, yeah.
Yeah, and then they should each have their own date,
I
because
mean, the danger of the booklet is what we just talked about, that somebody's got the 2021 version and somebody else has a 2023 version and they're not the same. But the flip side of that is you have to go look them up individually, one by one on the internet, which isn't terrible, but is very awkward.
so
if you're a
there's
new
a clean
employee.
slate, though. I think this is gonna be a clean slate of a new handbook.
Right, which I thought the 2023 one was also, but it's never finished, it just keeps evolving.
But as far as I'm concerned, I guess, unless otherwise specified, we're approving these in anticipation of a whole handbook being adopted.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Right.
not coming into effect on its own unless we specifically say that.
And the reason why I brought this up is because we were talking about discuss benefits accrual, which was part of one of those agenda items.
Yeah.
And so I'm having to go back through and relook at accruals, and
Yeah.
the accruals for part-timers, we changed. So I just want to make certain that when I'm going back through and saying, okay, so-and-so worked 1,000 hours over some from 2023, they're gonna get that divided by 30, which tells them how many sick time, part-time hours, as opposed to a certain number divided by 30, a certain number divided by 20. So July 1 is when, like, for example, part-timers will get 1 hour of PTO for every 20 hours worked.
I think that's gonna make everyone's life a lot easier and
I
more,
agree.
because we at certain points said, yep, this is the one we wanna do, and then we went and changed it in the middle of the year.
Right.
So I think July first,
Yep.
everything we put in the system, does that help? Does that make sense?
Yeah. that
Yeah.
makes sense.
We're doing July first, and we're gonna let the department heads look at this
Yeah.
before, and
Yeah.
We'll put it all together.
close to finish line.
I know, but we're not gonna stop.
Uh,
It's not gonna be like, oh, it's 8:30, time to go home, because we've been meeting for 2.5 hours. No.
But that's a 12 hours, 16 hours, I get time to that? It's a holiday.
We're not going,
It's
no one's
fine.
going home until it's employee.
It's January 6th holiday.
That's right.
It might be a national holiday by the
so-
end of this president.
References. In 2 sentences.
I didn't print that out.
I don't blame you.
Uh,
I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I personally,
It's
I
common
understand
sense.
the reason for it, it creeps me out. And
Yeah, but
I'll tell you why it creeps me out. Right, and I understand that we have to be careful what is said. But there's 2 reasons. Number 1, if you're actually interested in knowing what happened with an employee and you're calling someplace that has that policy, you might as well not bother. Because all they're gonna say is, yes, they worked here. And the reason I know this is because my daughter almost lost getting a job because one of her references has this policy. So none of the people who actually knew her and worked with her were allowed to talk to anyone. The person was told they had to talk to corporate, at which point they went into the black hole. And at the end of many phone calls trying to track down whether she even worked there, the only thing they could find out was that she had worked there. Which for mental health counseling is useless.
yeah, but.
So from a human standpoint, it's terrible. I understand from a legal standpoint why we have it. But so that's from both sides. Like, as a hirer, it's terrible because you never get an honest opinion. And as a person trying to get a job whose references are being checked, it's terrible. Because, I mean, here, obviously, they're not gonna go into a black hole. We're not that large an organization.
But we used to use the trick of the traders.
Yeah.
We ran into that with a lot of companies. The question is, would you rehire them?
But if you're talking to corporate, they don't know.
I know, but
So, I totally understand what you're saying, and I've had people call me about a former employee, and I just said, they worked here, and they worked here until, from this date to this date, if I have that available.
Right.
And it just is, it's unfortunate, but I think it's just the way of the world.
And you're probably right, but I'm just lodging
I don't-
my horror at this,
you know,
at that situation, which is a real situation, and I get it, and I know we have to have it, I just don't like it.
well, I don't like it either, but I think that's today's world.
Okay, so we're approving them.
Approved reference policy, workplace safety.
It's so weird to be typing 1626.
I just do 1625.
What?
Save myself the confusion.
I'm just taking notes. Okay, workplace safety?
I didn't have any questions.
I mean, I know some of these things are repetitive, but sometimes they need to be. Like, some things have to be.
Yeah,
Approved as drafted, workplace violence protection.
Definition of violence.
So, I just wanna make sure that, the weapons piece of this, because we did have that conversation about firearms, like if somebody,
You got them in your car.
if you have it in your car, but this is actually saying possession or use by employees of firearms or other items which may be considered dangerous and are designed to cause death are prohibited on town property, in town, or town vehicles, or in any personal vehicle which is used for town business. So,
We don't actually have those, that could probably come out.
yeah, because we
We
have,
don't have personal vehicles that are used for town business.
right, but we
I mean,
also,
I guess that would be if you're driving to a,
Yeah,
like,
to a training in
Yeah.
Boston, that's a
in
personal
your
vehicle.
car and
Right.
arsenal, you couldn't do that.
so, because I know on our weapon, we had one
It
about
says,
firearms.
please also see weapons and firearms policy.
I did
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
So, I just want to make sure that
Did they match?
as closely as possible, I
Right,
think.
yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. I should have checked that and I didn't. Checking now.
Because you may be able to strike part of the sentence and actually add the please also see weapons and firearms policy.
What part would you strike?
I would probably strike the part that starts the discussion of in any personal vehicle
Okay.
and finishes that whole sentence.
Mhm.
So wait, how would it, possession or use by, of it, or use by employees of firearms or other items which may be considered dangerous and or are designed to cause death or serious bodily injury are prohibited on town property. In town vehicles?
And then say from that, or eliminate that, and then maybe see, please also see the weapons and firearm policy at that point, right? Because
I'm trying to, so the weapons and firearms policy says prohibited areas. Employees may not bring any weapon into town hall or any interior municipal building space, municipal workspaces or meeting rooms, any location where municipal business is conducted unless expressly authorized by law or job duty, e.g. law enforcement. Firearms in personal vehicles, permitted with restrictions. Employees who are properly licensed to carry a firearm under mass law may store a firearm in their privately owned vehicle while parked on municipal property, provided that the firearm is unloaded, it is stored in a locked container or in the locked trunk of the vehicle. Vehicle itself is locked when unattended. The firearm is not removed from the vehicle while on municipal property.
so maybe, if we were to strike that sentence about personal vehicle, so like from, or in any personal vehicle which is used or during business hours, strike that part, and at the end of the sentence, except for those employees who are engaged in, and then also
Well,
say,
right, yeah, you leave the except for.
Yeah.
Although I'm wondering which personal vehicle used on town business should actually be in the firearms policy. I'm just saying,
maybe, I just don't want the two
to not match.
to not match, and not that we have this issue, as far as I know.
So it should, and it should probably say or in town. Okay. Checking to see if I did it right. Yeah, now I'm wondering if it should say that personal vehicles on town business. I don't think it happens very much, but I'm sure it does happen.
The only one that might be doing that is Don or an inspector, personal vehicle. He's going out on an inspection.
Someone going to a training for town
Yeah,
is technically on town
that
business.
is, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That's good.
You guys wanna see? It's that paragraph, that's okay. I'm the worst.
Yeah.
That were adopted as.
Yeah.
Okay.
The workplace violence protection policy approved as amended.
Give me 1 second to make sure. Good catch, Roger. Okay.
Town administrator updates?
I have a few, couple. I was talking to Don Clausen, town assessor. He, informed me that Scott and Teresa Stiebel will be resigning their positions prior to the May town meeting.
Yikes.
So that means actually the entire board is, will be open. Because,
Gary's the other person.
Gary's actual, his position is up for election this year. Where did I write this down? Teresa's, was 2007, Scott's was 2008. So
2020.
2028, sorry. 2028.
Are they moving or something?
My understanding is they're just wanting to spend more time out, as retirees,
Yeah.
traveling. They're doing a lot of traveling and going out and about.
This time.
Yeah, it's just not, it's just not what they want to do right now. So they're both resigning their positions. So that's, I haven't heard whether Gary will run again. But that leaves, three names on the,
Wow.
for that position.
Yikes.
So, we already know about Officer Serrano. And I, in talking to, just trying to put kind of feelers out there and talking with Brian Chief Fahey, I did put a part-time, just looking for like part-time police officers, see what happens, just to kind of help and find out, see if there's anybody out there. I did put it on Indeed.
Okay, good.
Just to kind of see if I get any feedback at all. I got one person who's like in Agawam or someplace like that, far away. So, just to kind of see what's out there.
No, that's
See if-
good.
see if anybody- See if
For
anybody,
part-time.
for part-time at this point, to see if anyone was of interest.
Unless they're just throwing it out there, like, they're not gonna try it out
I know, but. like,
here. They were on mass, I'm assuming.
Yeah. like,
Well, it's 16. Agawam's what, an hour?
That's
take
Agawam,
an hour and a half.
Connecticut.
A couple hours out there, it's near Springfield, isn't it?
Yeah.
An hour and a half.
Springfield,
Hour and a half.
An hour.
Yeah, West.
I just think some
I thought it
people,
was further.
some people commute to work. Not.
That's true.
The commutes are easy.
It says an hour even.
Wow, that's actually not that bad. That's
Yeah.
doable.
I'm just.
It depends on the shift and everything.
Yeah,
That's true.
You never know with Indeed, but
And that's all I have.
do you have a time frame for the budget?
So I'm finishing up my spreadsheets. I'll be sending them out this week. I will meet with people sometime over the next couple of weeks to kind of see what they're up to.
And
And then start scheduling in February for you guys.
do you want a member of the select board to join those meetings, a member of the finance committee?
Not the first one, because that's just me making sure that they understand what the, how the spreadsheet works and, what
Oh,
we
so
need
you're
to
gonna do
do.
big meetings with a bunch of people,
I'm gonna try to do that.
but we
talk
should
with them.
still go to that
If you want to, yeah,
potentially.
I can put that out there. And then, come February, Frank was giving me his,
Schedule.
schedule. So we're gonna try and work them in through February. So.
So when will you have a rough draft proposed budget? We can sit down with the finance committee and make cuts.
Make cuts, cheapers. Well, it'll probably be in February.
Like early February,
Yeah. I'll have a budget.
because we need to start scheduling meetings with them.
Yeah.
It gets more complicated, because one thing when it's just us, but when we need to
Yeah.
schedule meetings with them.
Yeah.
They haven't met yet. The finance committee.
I think did they meet once?
I had dinner with Jeff on Saturday and he hasn't heard anything.
Yeah, I thought maybe after the election they met once, but I
Yeah,
It's been a while.
so,
don't know.
They met with us. They met with us to call the special town meeting for the tanker.
Did you want to mention that?
Yeah, so, great, this is just the blurb that I sent to the Monterey News.
So-
Like we talked about.
Thank you.
I mean, there's one for him too, it's 1 page, I mean, it's this much crap.
The,
It's not even 1 page. It's
So,
like, yeah, it's one
here's actually what I have a question about for the finance committee. Because we have new members on the finance committee. should we meet everybody, us, the finance committee,
Talk about how we do it.
talk about how we do it,
It's probably good.
so we're on
I
the same
think it's a good
page?
idea.
Why
And then
don't why don't we invite them to next Tuesday and have that meeting there so we can look at the February schedule?
I get
Because,
Okay,
we can say,
it.
now Jeff's away, Jeff's on the West Coast.
But he can,
Dial in, but if we get 2 out of the 3,
Yeah.
we need to get
and Jeff's at least been through it once, right?
Yeah.
Well, I guess still Steve has.
Steve has been through it once, Roger did it years ago.
Yeah, but I'm sure our process is different.
But yeah,
so,
I would get them in here so we can start talking.
So in previous years, we've done a thing where the department head, when they meet with you, there's also a finance committee and
Yeah, select board.
a select board member there. Is that what we're talking about starting in February, or are you thinking those will be in January and then the bigger meetings with the whole spiel of February?
I'm hoping to do those in January, the ones
Okay.
that you talked about, but they may roll into the beginning of February.
Okay, because I'm going the last week of January, but then I come back for the the town meeting and I'm around that week, the first week of February.
So, I mean, I'm around, I just need heads up a little bit.
We need to do, we don't have to do it tonight, but talk about which select board members doing which,
Exactly, and like,
I bet we don't need to talk about it tonight.
I'm willing to do any meeting I need to do, so.
I think it's also interesting because a lot of the small departments we meet with and they wanna level fund and it's like, fine. And we might talk about some things, but then, it does come down to, usually every year it comes down to a couple huge requests
Yeah,
that, like a big truck or an additional employee. And so those ones end up
but
pouring a lot of time, so.
Change in pay grade for an employee or something.
so
The other
that's
thing-
not a significant amount, I mean, like the Lombardo committee, it'll be interesting to see if they come back and say, we want X dollars or something like that. We'll have to see where the committee gets.
But I do think it's a good way, ironically, I think has another function, which is it gives us a chance to see what they see coming down the pipe
Oh, yeah.
and how they want to change things, and it's a chance to sit across the table and tell us, hey, this is the thing we've been thinking about, or whatever. Like, you don't know what is on their agenda until you have a chance to talk to them, and they don't, some of them see us often, but some of them don't.
Anything else?
I did have one quick thing that just reminded me because when you said truck, truck number 16, which is like 10 years old.
Yeah, 550.
Yeah, we would normally be thinking about selling that or auctioning it off. We're gonna hold on to it for a little while. We're gonna spend a little bit of money to fix it. It had an issue with its, with the fuel pump. Because we have had some significant, I shouldn't say significant, but we've had some, lots of repairs this year for trucks going out. Like right now, one of them is sitting in the yard because there's a part that they can't get right now. So we're just kind of gonna hold on to it through the winter, put a little money towards it so we can fix it up and get it running, inspected. Because we only have 4 trucks right now running, but plow trucks, I think is what they were telling me.
How many
So-
550s are at the garage? Like bona fide F-550?
Yeah, but we have to
Ford?
say, we got Freightliners down,
I think the
right?
Freightliner's down.
Yeah, but we have 2 Freightliners down.
Yeah, so one
Because we
Freightliner,
got rid of the, we didn't get the Fords, we got the Freightliners in place of the 5.
International Harbor, they got.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We didn't go with Fords again, so the
Yeah.
550, I think it's the 2016.
Yeah,
So that was like the last of our 550.
yeah, so we're just struggling with a little bit, having some extra vehicles. Because we've had them go, actually, the new truck that we just bought, the 1 ton, is at the dealership right now.
Because what?
They're not certain, the battery wouldn't charge and they couldn't get it started, so they sent it up there. It's still under warranty, so it's up there right now. So he was using that to plow here and there when needed. So we're trying to cycle through these, see what's going on with all these vehicles. That we've had some of them, the one, like I said, the Freightliner's been in the yard for a while. They're looking for a part. There's a couple others that have gone. We had some that there was an issue with, I think it was the International, I can't remember now. but they all had an issue with the cylinder that raised the bed. So they had to replace one that was broken, they replaced another one with a used part, and they're trying to figure out how to get the parts, so they've had some issues over at the yard. So
So
we decided to sort of keep that one just in case right
Is
now.
that the only one Sheldon can drive without a, I mean, what if, how many?
The new International should be for the same weights as the
Yeah.
550s.
Yeah.
But how many, I'm just curious how many Ford F-550s we
Yeah,
have,
and I'm not certain,
Yeah.
I have to go through and see.
because I think
Interviews.
the design, we kind of went through this transition. And if you look at the capital plan, we should have the 2 Freightliners.
Yeah.
And then 3 550 weight trucks, of which 2 are now international, so like, the one Ford F-550 is supposed to still be like in fulfilling its role, and how many, do we have 1 extra or 2 extra?
I think we had one,
It's only one extra.
but with this, we kept on, we held this one. I think that's where we're at.
We
But I'll,
just-
I'll double check.
We just got this international, when's the last time we got the last truck?
Well, we got one last
2
month
months
ago,
ago.
right, and we got a new one just recently.
Yeah,
The
and
one
then,
that,
we would have sold the 550.
we haven't sold anything.
I know, but we
Yeah.
typically, if it was a
Yes.
normal cycle.
Sold in or traded,
It's already
Yeah.
sold or traded. put
Yeah,
it on
auction
the
it.
auction.
do you want inventory?
Yeah, I just wrote that down. I'll have, Alan do that for me, get an inventory of all the rolling stock that we have.
Another good thing maybe could be for select board members, finance committee members to visit and see. I don't think are we due to purchase any trucks? Not really.
Not gonna,
I don't think so, because we did
Superintendent.
we did the superintendent, we did this one, then we did one 3 years ago when we went with the 550, and then we had to go back to this town meeting and say we don't want a 550.
But there's one lingering 550 in our fleet. That's,
But maybe that's.
because we're supposed to have 5 of those trucks,
uh,
the 2 Freightliners, and
What,
at least my recollection.
what about the CDL driving? For,
I've been harping them on that and figuring it out. I think right now, there's, Ryan is scheduled in March, I think it is, because we've been in contact with BCC, Berkshire Community College.
yeah,
They just, I read something in an article that they were, actually going to start doing CDL training up there.
oh, really?
Like official CDL training, not just like, we're gonna prepare you. And so I think they're doing the whole thing, and then the actual, and then the test will be some other location, they do the test, but they're doing the training up there, and Alan's been in contact, and so we have,
Oh, that's great.
we
That's
kinda
a
have,
lot of folks serving in Connecticut.
yeah, so tentatively, he's scheduled to go up there in March, I think is when I last spoke with him.
That's good.
It
So
appears
so
we
I
might be
have-
slated to purchase an F-550.
So I have a FY 27, an estimate for a
Mine might be
mid-range
old.
wing truck.
Mine's says Monterey capital plan as of 3/2/22. What's yours?
I have a capital.
1/22/25.
Oh,
I have a capital plan from, that I was working on from February.
all right, so
Do
mine,
you have one coming up for the 27th?
this is FY 27 we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
This does not show anything in the highway, the
Oh,
old one.
The one that I have that I pulled from, it says capital plan FY 25, it has FY 27 for a mid-range wing truck,
Which is the
which
F-550.
is the F550.
And,
Can I get a copy of the latest version of that?
yeah, Roger, can you send your?
Yeah, send it to all of us, please. Maybe I want to do that.
The way it is with those is we're supposed to have 3 of them around like a 5 or 6 year replacement, so we should be buying one every other year.
That's kind of what I remembered.
But,
We could change that.
well, a couple things. One is you can use chapter money to buy those trucks now.
You can.
Just maybe not the plow and the sander,
I,
maybe you can.
I can find out, but you
Can we
can't,
transfer for the sand?
we can't.
Can you transfer that sand body onto the new one?
I don't know. But that's why, this is also, I'm curious of the age of those 550s, because the newest one should be the one that we're wondering about replacing. There's ones older than that, those are just on borrowed time,
They're playing backup. They're third.
which is fine if they're playing backup.
Well, that's what they're doing now, because the other two trucks are doing. Well, one.
Alright, so, and maybe at our meeting with the finance committee, we'll do a brief overview of the capital plan and start asking questions. Anything else?
Speaking about, where's Brian on getting the replacement?
When I spoke with him last, he was getting kind of the runaround. So we were supposed to have it earlier this year, like November, and he's gone out there a couple times. Into West Springfield, I think it is where he goes out there. I think that's MHQ, whatever it's called. But he has talked to them. It's not really there, but he's talking to them, and it was supposed to be November, and that got pushed back, so it could be January this month. But he doesn't have any specific date that they've told him it's gonna be ready.
I don't know why they four dealers, four companies in trouble.
Is that it? We'll move on to minutes.
I just had the two tiny changes. I just didn't think we need to say call to order twice for two different times.
Good catch.
And I just changed some of the wording and Frank's doing something under Southern Berkshire ambulance, that's it. Under Southern Berkshire ambulance assessment on page 4, I think I sent it to you too. Yeah.
Yep.
And when Frank changed something, contract renewal ended up on the same line, so that's now backward.
We're so behind these minutes are from last year.
I know, right?
I'll move that we approve the minutes as amended.
Second,
We'll call a vote.
Yes.
Yes, unanimously approved as amended.
when are we meeting next week or the week after?
We'll meet next week.
I like to get the finance committee in there.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn at 7:14.
We'll call a vote.
Yes,
Yes,
if we can
meeting adjourned at 7:13.
not make it a lengthy meeting, my husband's birthday is that.
Yes.
He's welcome to come.
I know, but I did promise
Well,
him
maybe-
dinner.
maybe
but
we
we
can
can